Welcome to Sheena Says, a podcast about wellness, parenting, and real stories.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Sheena Says, and today we are talking about homeopathy itself, myths and facts. This is a topic very close to my heart, and I am super excited to share these with you. So let's get into it. Myth 1, homeopathy is just a placebo. That's the first thing you see when you type in homeopathy in Google. Everywhere they're bashing on it. They're talking about it just being a placebo. It doesn't work. You're just giving water, or you're just giving sugar pills to everybody, and that we are scam artists. That is a myth. Because if that was a fact, it would not show repeated clinical results across the board for infants, animals, and patients who are in deep amount of pain. How would it suddenly cure somebody with eczema? This is not a placebo. These are not just sugar pills or tonics. These are actual medicines custom made to each person's individual health, because homeopathy does not say one size fits all. Homeopathy cannot make billions for you and can be produced in the billion form, because it is a very individualized treatment, because we look at every single person as an individual, unique human being with unique problems and have unique formulas to fit those problems. So just because you do not know enough about the science, you label it as a placebo, is ignorance on you and shame on you for not doing your research. As I have said before, what is even more dangerous than a lie is a half truth. What is more dangerous than ignorance is half knowledge, is the sense of think you know something when you only know half of it. Now, so homeopathy being a placebo, 100% no. I have treated thousands and thousands of people across my career of 20 plus years, and my mother has treated thousands before me in her 40 plus year career. So we have seen results that have been transformational. And I can promise you, those people would not be talking to us. They wouldn't be coming back to us if it was just a placebo. So it is not a placebo. It is a very underrated science, is what I would like to say, because you cannot just keep profiting off of it. You actually have to care. You actually have to make a difference. So yes, it is a super underrated science, but I know that it is the science of tomorrow. So let's get to the next myth. Homeopathy works slowly. Now, that is again a huge myth. If it is an acute condition, treated correctly, it will give you instant results. Homeopathy doesn't work slowly. It works both ways. It is a palliative and it is curative in the same breath. Now, not many sciences can say that. The palliative result is felt immediately. The curative result, on the other hand, if you are dealing with a chronic condition, will take time to cure for sure. Now, how long it will take depends on your condition. It also depends on what peripheral conditions you are having along with it. It also depends on how well you are prepared to follow the protocols. It depends on your stress levels, your triggers, what other supplements or medication you're on. It depends on how long you have had that problem. But is it curable? 100%. Will you get relief? Yes. The relief can come sooner than the cure, but you cannot ding the science for curing it and taking time. When if you've had something for 20 years, yes, it might take 2 years to cure it. But if the other science is not promising you a cure, they're just asking you to manage it and only with side effects, then whose side are you on? At least this is promising you a cure, and it will give you the relief that you're looking for. The relief can come if you have a cut on your hand. I promise you, you spray the pain spray, the relief is instant. You can feel it within 2 minutes, and the cut will heal 10 times faster than if you didn't use the pain spray. I have a burn spray. You burn your hand, it literally, you spray your hand and the burn spray works instantly. You spray it 4 or 5 times, within that same day, the burning feeling is gone. Within an hour, it's gone, depending on how deep the burn is. So don't tell me it doesn't work. Don't tell me it's a placebo. And don't tell me it works slowly. It doesn't. It works instantly. The cure takes time, but that depends on how long you've had the problem. Okay, let's go to the third one. The myth that homeopathy has no science. Again, completely a lie. Homeopathy was actually made by a doctor, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, who was a German doctor, a medical doctor, who was so disgusted by the way medicine in that time period was treating people and how what results he was getting. He was so disgusted by it that he, as a doctor, turned his back on it. And he, as a doctor, came up with a science that was so puritanical. It was so pure and was so simple that people bashed him for it. And till today, the big founders of homeopathy, the biggest ones are Kent, are Dr. Kent. Dr. Kent is a medical doctor who has written books and materia medicas on it. So all of these doctors are wrong, but the people who are selling pills are correct. No, it is a science. It was backed and made, created by doctors who were not happy with bloodletting and flogging as a method of treating people. They were disgusted by it. So they dug deeper and found a better way of doing things. It's equivalent to saying that the only rotary phone is the only answer. No, it is not. But in that time, it certainly freaked people out. So, yes, it is a science backed and made by doctors themselves. It has over 200 plus years of clinical observation. Homeopaths across the world are doing amazing work in every field possible, getting amazing results. And so to call it a no science is, just like I said, lack of education and more ignorance. Now, let's talk about myth 4. It's just sugar pills. This is not just sugar pills or just tonic water. It is not. They are actually carrying the remedy, and the remedy is not being delivered in the most obvious manners like ground up herbs or bitter tonics, but it is still there. Now, if again, I'm going to compare it to the rotary phone and today's smartphone, the Apple phone. Back in the day, you had a phone, which was like a clunker. Then you had a camera that was larger than a suitcase. There was absolutely no GPS. There was the big boom box, and there was a huge TV to watch movies in. Today, all you have is a simple phone that fits in the palm of your hand doing all of those things. Now, yes, if you had shown that to the previous generation and said, even 50 years ago, that this all of those appliances would be in this tiny little phone, they wouldn't have bought it. They couldn't have comprehended it. But it is possible today, isn't it? So please don't tell me these are sugar pills. Please don't tell me it's just water. Please don't tell me it's a placebo and it doesn't work. These are just put in place to brainwash people into believing that it doesn't work. These are all myths and it does work. Let's get into myth 5, that homeopathy aggravates the symptoms. Absolutely not. I don't work with aggravations. I work with relieving the pain or going ahead and detoxing first so that there are no aggravations. Can it aggravate a situation? Can it cause a reaction? Maybe sometimes, only in a short period of time, which can also be managed by a skillful homeopath. Should it be done at home? At a very base level, honestly, it's very safe. But if you are having acute symptoms or chronic issues, then seek professional help, because then the homeopath can manage it for you and can help you navigate your aggravations or small reactions. Myth 6, homeopathy suppresses the symptoms. Again, it does the opposite of suppression. Homeopathy aims at restoring balance, addressing the root cause, strengthening the vitality, reducing dependency on medications, and it helps boost your immune system. It does not suppress anything. It is meant to help you get past all of that. Now, another myth is that we have steroids in homeopathy, which is why you're getting the results. Again, a complete myth. There are no steroids. The remedy is working, and it is working with the current person's individual constitution. So there are no steroids in homeopathy. Homeopathy is against chemical use or trying to overuse the chemicals. So why would they introduce steroids into it? There are never and never have been any steroids in any of the formulas. Now, another myth is one remedy fits all. Look, in the classical way of doing homeopathy, and a lot of homeopaths are classical even today, that is true. They do look for the one final constitutional remedy. Does everyone work that way? No. I work classically. I'm trained classically. Yes, I do understand that way of working, but I work to really help the patient get the results that they are individually looking for. And I don't always go chasing for that constitutional anomaly that's going to fit it's going to fix every single thing in that patient. If the patient is having a mental issue, we have formulas which address the nervous system. We have formulas which address the circulatory system. We have formulas which address any physical problems that you might be having. We have a formula that addresses sleep issues. So I don't look for that final constitutional remedy because I feel that most people don't have the time or the patience to find that final remedy, and they will lose trust in you if you do not give them the results that they're looking for. Now, let's go to the next one. Homeopathy can't help serious or autoimmune diseases. Again, a huge myth. I'm telling you, homeopathy can and does cure all kinds of autoimmune, including I have cured hundreds of eczema patients, completely cured them. They've never come back. They've never had any further flare ups. Does it take time? Yes. Sometimes it takes a couple of months. Sometimes it can take a couple of years, depends on how long you've had it, what your age is, what are your other symptomology along with it is. So a lot of it depends on the peripheral conditions. But homeopathy can treat asthma. I have successfully treated asthma. I've successfully treated eczema. I have successfully treated psoriasis. I have successfully treated a multitude of autoimmune disorders, that rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. There are so many conditions that the modern medicine say that are just autoimmune disorders that are not curable, but that is not the truth. Myth is that they cannot treat it. The myth is not that homeopathy cannot treat it. Homeopathy has the cure, and you should give it a try. Why not? That's the first one you should try because it has no side effects. Absolutely none whatsoever. So why wouldn't you give a cure a try with no side effects versus looking for quick relief with side effects causing more issues? Well, we'll get into that next time. Let's go on to the next myth. Now, you have to stop all other treatments. No, that's a myth. Fact is, we don't stop any other forms of medication. If a patient has been on medication, they stay on the medication till we have received traction from them. We have a very good outcome. And then if the patient would like to wean off of some of their medications, then that we help them achieve that. But no, you do not have to stop any of your blood pressure medication or any of your anxiety medication. If you're on cholesterol medication, you don't have to stop it right away. We don't recommend that at all. So actually speaking, we have just covered 10 myths for homeopathy that are absolutely not true. These are just propaganda to get people to think that it doesn't work. It actually does work. It should actually be everyone's first mode of treatment and then go to the next level if required. But I would strongly, strongly recommend to look deeper into it, look at the reviews, look at the patient stories, look at the video diaries, see how much proof we have, and look at other homeopaths across the world doing amazing work themselves. There is so much proof that exists that it does work, that it is a beautiful science. It has zero side effects. It's safe for pregnant women, children, men of all ages. It helps with every single problem that you can think of. But yes, it is not for surgery, for sure. If you come with a broken leg, the first thing I or any good homeopath is going to tell you is that let's go to urgent care, let's get it casted up, and then we're going to help you heal a lot faster. So does it have limitations? Yes. But so does everything else. And the fact that the other sciences are not willing to acknowledge their limitation or willing to implement this is the sad part of it all. In the way I see the future, this is the future of medicine. This is where we will get 80% of the results, and the 20% that is needing surgery or is reactive or corrective procedures. Our medicine today has come a long way. I want to give high five to them all, high props and shout out. And we do need everybody, but I will talk about my vision for the future in the next episode. Wait for that one. Until then, Sheena's out. Stay well naturally. I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to Sheena Says, and for more info, please visit yourhomeopathy.com.